none of us can do this by ourselves. I think the people that were here, it represents one of the reasons actually that we joined 5G AAA, which is a unique combination of automotive OEMs, device manufacturers, network equipment providers, network operators, all coming together to work cooperatively to deliver the benefits of 5G going forward. And the fact that we had such interest today means for us we're on the right track in terms of tapping into what we believe the benefits will be going forward in the future.
So there was a lot of talk about the technology roadmap and the migration from LTE, cellular vehicle to X, to new radio, and the new services that are going to be delivered. From a full perspective, what does that mean in terms of actually delivering that into a vehicle?
Yeah, and for us, it resulted actually in our decision we announced in the U.S. that beginning in 2022, we'll begin to equip our new vehicles with cellular vehicle-to-everything communication, or CV2X. And one of the reasons that we made that decision is because we do see the technology curve and we do see how it's advancing, but we also see some of the basic fundamentals in terms of things like backward compatibility. So we know we can make a decision today about vehicles that will be produced in 2022, and those vehicles will still have services that can connect them to vehicles that will be produced in 2025 or 2026. So the benefit of that backward compatibility. The other thing is that we are riding a wave of technological growth, and that's different than the earlier standard on which vehicle-to-vehicle communication was based. In the U.S., it was a Wi-Fi-based approach, DSRC, and it essentially just, in a sense, sat dormant for the last 15 or 20 years, and that's because there was no driving force or driving factor that was really impelling it to go forward. With what's happening with things becoming increasingly connected, with 5G happening, with the fact that cities are becoming smarter, with the fact that everyone recognizes the benefits of connecting, we have the benefit of joining an ecosystem that is almost naturally going to grow because of consumer demand and because of the experiences that people will want going forward. And so it made our decision in terms of adopting CV2X more compelling in that sense, and again, a representation of what's happening here at MWC overall.
But you're also seeing the advantages scale as well. I mean, with China adopting cellular vehicle to X, the implementation in cities means that it's not just going to be the vehicles, but it's the roadside unit element. And every city in the world that I've ever spoken to is really concerned about cost. And the more volume you get and the lower the cost of the units, that's going to be more attractive for cities as well, right?
I think you're absolutely right. Even just the fact that this ecosystem is developing, and so you're going to have more players producing more chips, producing more types of infrastructure equipment, and so the scale is absolutely growing. And even if there wasn't already a natural force in terms of network deployment, which I think cities will be able to benefit from, just the scale and the production means that the cost per deployment will be lowered. But in addition to that scale, one of the factors that we touched on actually in the conference today is the fact that because of the characteristics of some of the millimeter wave spectrum frequencies, right, higher frequency, shorter wavelengths, right, you're going to need much denser microcell deployment, and we think there's an opportunity for cities and for departments of transportation, municipalities to have infrastructure become smarter by tapping into some of those microcells that are already going to be deployed and adding a bit more sensing or a bit more computing capability to make that smart light, or to make that stoplight smarter, for instance.
Plus, the other thing is that the density issue means that with all of the vehicles transmitting that data, then you want smaller cells with higher throughput radio capability as well. The other thing I wanted to pick up on was the ecosystem, because it's all very well having the technology, but what I was also hearing was that there's a lot more thinking around the applications and the development that will go from the ecosystem and providing the access and APIs for developers.
So you're right in terms of the ecosystem, and us joining that ecosystem means that while the specific use cases may be different, some of the APIs or some of the underlying fundamental platform technologies that would be leveraged in those use cases could make a lot of sense in terms of just reusability, right? So some of the things that we might do in terms of data transport leveraging 5G from a vehicle or a sensor perspective, right? All the information that is fused in a vehicle and sent, right? We can imagine potentially hospitals. They have sensors and imagery and data transport needs as well, and so some of the same common protocols might be of use there. And again, it's the benefit of joining a vibrant, thriving, growing ecosystem. Again, something that's represented here at MWC as opposed to us doing this on our own. Let's take advantage of where the growth is naturally happening and benefit from that as well as contributing to it at the same time.
Thanks very much, Don. And look forward to the exciting news throughout this year on this. It's going to be fascinating.
Great, Steve. Thanks. Nice to speak with you.